So many people have this idea that, to date you gotta spend a lot of money, and it's gonna cost you a bomb, and no matter how prudent you are, the moment you start dating, oh my goodness, your bank account is gonna go for a free fall. And maybe you're not wrong, because relative to being alone, you're gonna be spending a little more. But how do we then be smarter, with our finances when we are going for dates? Right, that is the question. And recently I have been dating, so it's really cool. And yeah, I've been learning along the way. I've been single for a really long time, so I'm glad that I am finally in a position that I can share with you a little bit more about how do you then be financially smart when you date. And that is the topic for today: 3 financially smart tips when it comes to dating. So good morning, everyone. I welcome you to another day with the Financial Coconut. In our podcast, we'll be debunking financial myths, discovering best financial practices, discussing financial strategies that fits our unique life. You get it. Ultimately empowering us to create a life we love while managing our finances well. And today's topic: 3 financially smart dating tips. So yeah, I firstly do not proclaim to be like some dating guru. Like I don't know a lot of stuff. Still learning along the way, picking up the ropes. But I thought, since many of us are like in our 20s and our 30s, and relationship and money is a topic for this month, I thought, maybe we should talk a little bit about dating, especially when the dating climate has changed so much, in our generation. So I'm in my 20s, so late 20s. We are the millennial generation, and we are born into this like rapid change kind of generation where we started out without computers, and then internet came, and then like social media. So we're not like our friends in like 20s like now, right? Like people in the 20s or late teens, they are born into the internet age. They are born into smartphones. And we are not like the really old people. Okay, maybe not really old. I'm not very polite, but you get it, huh? Yeah. Those people that are like in the 40s, 50s, our parents' era, they had a long period of time when, technology wasn't that much of a thing, and dating has their own style. So we are in this like changing dynamics, right? This period of change, and dating has definitely changed over this course. And you cannot deny that, digital dating is a thing. People use Tinder, people use like Coffee Bagel, people use like Grindr, people use all sorts of different apps, that you go out and date. And that is one inevitable reality today, where you just have to use apps because it just makes it very efficient, actually, if you think about it. So if you're already attached, cool stuff, but I hope you listen on. Let's just pick our brains and see if we can have more tips for everyone else. And if you're in this process of dating, trying to find that person, I've collated some points for all of us. And 3 points as usual. And the first point I'm going to share with you is: first dates must always be short and low budget. Okay, what does that mean? So essentially, I picked this thing up from this lady called Christina Wallace. So if you go to YouTube or you go to Spotify or listen to podcast, I'm sure everyone knows TED, right? TED Talks. On TED Talks, there are like tons of people talking about like dating, whether it's online dating, offline dating, or all sorts of stuff. So if you really want to learn more in depth about how to be better dated, go there. I think there are a lot of cool stuff. But there's this one lady, which is Christina Wallace, that left, something that I actually end up adopting, which is called the zero date. Like the zero date. Like the first date, and then there's a 0th date, like the date before. Essentially, it is 1 hour, 1 drink. That's what she said. That's a 0th date. And her video on TED, it's titled "How to Stop Swiping and Find Your Person on Dating Apps." Right, so I thought it was really cool, and I actually used it. I adopted it, and I recommend to a lot of friends this strategy of 0th date. Essentially, it is low commitment, low budget. 1 hour, 1 drink. I don't really like to drink, so 1 hour, 1 scoop of ice cream, but maybe 1 cup of espresso or whatever. Cannot always ice cream. Not getting fatter and fatter. Tougher to date. But yes, so that's the whole idea. 1 hour, 1 drink. Why? Because you realize that online, a lot of times whatever you put online, you write your bio, you write your description, and the algorithm picks it up, but it never really exactly prompts you that kind of person that you really want to have, or some would say like online, you never know who you're really meeting, right? So don't bother chatting with someone for too long. If someone seems like they can chat decently, then let's try to zero down and get the zero date. Meet one-to-one. Honestly, right, if you meet someone for the first time, in a few minutes you kind of already get the vibe, right? And in a few exchange of conversation, you will be able to tell like, okay lah, this person we can continue to chat, or like this person, a little awkward, I want to go. So yeah, I think this is a great way of dating. Very, very financially smart, and in fact just very smart whether you put it financially or not, right? So arrange to meet the person at your convenience and at their convenience, just for short like coffee or like a ice cream, short odd hour, 1 hour kind of thing, like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock after work, or like 2 p.m. post lunchtime, or you want to have very, very low kind of commitment to this kind of dates, because come on man, you gotta open up your time, you gotta open up your cast your net wider so that you can meet more people, right? And at the same time, it's honestly super awkward, right, if you arrange to meet someone to have the first date, which is the makan, you sit down together, you expect a 1 to 2 hour, 3 hours kind of thing. And then the first 5 minutes, you're already super turned off because, the photo and the person looks like a different, or just looks super nice, can chat, but, when it comes to real life, it's just so bad. And it's pretty common. So yeah, we want to be smart. Go for the zero date. 1 hour, 1 drink, right? Low commitment, high frequency kind of thing, right? Just do it. Everyone does that. And I recommend that to quite a few of my friends. And actually, quite a few of them used it. And, some of them are actually dating now, like serious dating, and it's really, really cool because it works. And when I see it, it is like financially super smart because, how much can a cup of coffee cost? $6? An ice cream is $6. It's just very, very, very easy way to verify the individual to then decide whether you want to further invest, right? Rather than you arrange for a meal, my goodness, it's so expensive and so awkward if it's bad, right? So, do it, right? Zero date, first date must always be low budget and short. Which brings me to my second point. The second point to be financially smart when we are dating is to always AA. Always go Dutch, because at least for the first few times that you guys are meeting, right? First 10 times, let's do 10 times. Why? Because I think that society has reached a level where it is kind of given for both parties to be working, right? And we all want this. Ultimately, we all want to have like a healthy financial life together. Right, we want a beautiful life, we want a dream life, we want to create a family, etc. Whatever you want to do it, you cannot run away from finances. So right from the get-go, I feel that we need to set the expectations right. A lot of guys, especially still today, have a lot of, have this kind of perspective that guys need to treat girls right, or if you're in a guy relationship, girl relationship, whatever it is, there's always this like masculine partner that needs to be the one treating, or in general. Okay, these days our relationship very broad, very tough to define, but the idea is about adjusting expectations, because right from the very, very start, you don't want to be on the grounds that you're always treating, and it's firstly a very bleeding process, and secondly it's like you want the other party to also be committing, financially, because it is true that when someone commits financially, that they feel, they feel the pinch, right? And when they feel the pinch, they actually do more, right? So I think that is extremely important. And I'm not being like sexist or something, but if especially ladies, right, when I know a lot of ladies these days talk about like, you want to be the independent women, equal rights, etc., which is beautiful. But at the same time, if that is the case, right, then, please don't expect guys to treat, because across the board, I still hear a lot of people telling me the guy must treat, first time, must treat one. I was like, my goodness, seriously, times have changed. You are making money, the guy's making money, everybody's, we're all making about the same, and we're all trying to create a life together. So right from the get-go, set the expectation right. Always AA. But of course, if you're together and it's a stable relationship already, then yeah, you will be less calculative, that's kind of how it works. But right from the start, don't bother treating, right? If money is what impresses the other person, then I don't know what to say, right? If someone say, but treat very gentleman, okay, there are many other ways to show that you are a gentleman. Open that door, pull that seat, usher her in, usher him in, whatever, it's not about paying for the bills, right? So always AA, right? Remember that. And brings me to my third point, which is practice small random gifting. I think this is very interesting and, very smart if you ask me, because you realize that, these days there are like a lot of events, right? A lot of like holidays. You have Christmas, you have Valentine's Day, you have, all sorts of activities to try to get you to spend. And a lot of these things, right, honestly have been over commercialized, a lot of all these holidays. And it forms this expectation that you need to gift. But you also realize that during the holiday, everything is very expensive. You go to the restaurant, it's 2-3 times the price. You buy a bouquet of flowers, it's like 10 times the price. You know why? Because people only buy flowers during that period of time. Or at least that is the common understanding. So everything becomes super expensive, and it's not like it's honestly just a flower. It's a meal, right? It's not gonna like change the impression of the individual to you. And you're not gonna build really deep relationships. But what I observed is that when you start to gift, right? Gifting is beautiful. It's a great way to show that you care, and you show that the person that you are interested in is within your sphere of thought. And when you start to give at random, right, you just buy like a pair of socks, buy like a pen, you see something interesting, buy a bag of chips, because he or she said that they like that, and then you just buy it because you just remember and you're really near. Of course, don't do it every day because it becomes a bit crazy, but do it random, small gifting. It really makes an impact because the person realizes that you remember them and you are listening to what they say. When someone say they like something, like they really like Garrett popcorn, then just buy Garrett popcorn, right? It's not very expensive. You buy it at odd periods of time and then just small little pack, give it to them, and they will remember you because you remember them. So practicing small random gifting adjusts the whole game. There's no longer this expectation building up to like holiday, Valentine's, need to give something. No, because you're already randomly gifting a lot of stuff. And it can be made known in this relationship that, we're not going to be funneling into consumerism, right? We care for each other. We want to get to know each other. And it's not about subscribing to this kind of holidays, right? So let them know that you care. Let him or her know that you care through random small gifting. It's going to be super helpful for your date, and at the same time, it's going to be financially super smart compared to like you wait until Valentine's Day, then the whole world is expecting a gift on Valentine's Day, and then you're gonna cause a bomb. It's gonna be crazy. So yes, 3 short tips for today, and I hope you learned something, right? I'm gonna sum it up. 3 financially smart dating tips. And the first tip is, on the first dates, it must always be short and low budget. Practice zero date. All right, practice the zero date. If you want to hear more, please go to TED Talk and search for Christina Wallace. How to stop swiping and find your person on dating apps. I think that is really, really cool. And the second tip is always AA. At least for the first few times that you guys are meeting, you want to adjust expectations right from the get-go. I'm not sure if it really fits the kind of description that you want, but in my view, I want to build a relationship where both of us are carrying the financial load in this relationship. So to me, right from the start, we got to practice AA, adjust expectations. And the third point is practice small random gifting, right? These will let the other party know that you actually care about them and you're listening to them, right? And not build this expectation that you need to be gifting on special days and it will not burn your wallet, right? So these are the 3 financially smart dating tip, and I hope you learned something useful today. See ya. Hey, I hope you learned something useful today and truly appreciate that you took time off to better your life with a financial coconut. Knowledge is that much more powerful and interesting when shared, debated, and discussed. I hope you will share what you've gained with people you love, and I want to hear from you. Give me some questions and help me along with building a community of financially savvy coconuts. I hope together we can fulfill our curious minds and our desire for clarity. Email me at thefinancialcoconut@gmail.com. Message me on Facebook or join our Telegram group. Just search The Financial Coconut. I will do my best to address your questions in the future podcast series, especially if many people are concerned about the same topic. With that, have a great day ahead, stay tuned next week, and always remember, personal finance can be chill, clear, and sustainable for all.